But lately I've been going to Starbucks, not every morning, but when I do, I get the brown sugar oat milk shake and espresso. So it's low calorie, but it's basically espresso shots with oat milk. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and usually around 9 a.m. I have ring training. So I go to ring training, and then I have gym, and then I go back to ring training and get as much, as I can. That's throughout the whole day. But morning wise, I hit my snooze alarm about 2 or 3 times before I get up. Because I love mornings, but it takes me a minute to really like wake up, So yeah. So yeah, and then I'll eat it, or I'll drink also a protein shake, or if I have time, I will make like 3 eggs with spinach and sausage, and then get going. So
Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Sounds a really interesting morning. So
yeah,
I need to translate this for the fans. Is that okay for you?
yeah.
Perfect. A ver, pues estábamos hablando ahorita acerca de cómo es una mañana en la vida de Nikkita Lyons, ¿verdad? Y me dijo, bueno, mira, me encantan las mañanas, pero a mí me toma un poco de trabajo despertar, así que 2 o 3 veces ahí como que bloqueo la alarma hasta que digo, ya es momento de despertar. A ella le gusta mucho el té, ahorita su máquina de café está rota, así que se va luego al Starbucks y se pide un espresso. Entonces, eso es básicamente su rutina, le gusta muchísimo hacer ejercicio, hace ejercicio 2 veces al día, ya lo sabemos, por eso está tan guapa, tan radiante la muchacha. So, we know about your strength, your speed, and how explosive your attack is from watching training videos. But here, we love The Rock, and we align 100% with his philosophy that don't cheat yourself, treat yourself, and Sunday cheat meal. So the point is, do you have any cheat meal?
Ooh, oh my gosh. So clearly, your girl likes food, right? But, you work it off, so that's the balance there. But I would say my favorite cheat meal, honestly, I could eat a burrito every day. No, I'm serious, like so serious. My whole life, I could literally eat a burrito every day. And if it's not a burrito, I also love barbecue. So like Texas style brisket with some mashed potatoes and yeah. So I would say those are my top 2 for cheat days, but it all goes to the right place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, it usually works out in my favor when I have a cheat day.
Great. I want to know, what is your favorite burrito?
Ooh, I love the the rojo sauce, and just a wet burrito with carne asada, black beans, rice, all the vegetables. Like, I like everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the rojo, just wet burrito, the big ones, and yeah.
I'm hungry now.
Me too.
So next time we have to do something.
Yes.
We should do something. We should make together a really amazing and sexy burrito.
Yes, sexy burrito.
Sexy burrito. What about that?
High five.
Yay. For our brunch. Okay?
Yeah, I would love to.
Maybe in WrestleMania, we can do that.
I would love to do that.
Yay! I love it. Perfect. A ver, perdón, gente, es que está buenísimo el chal aquí con Nikkita. Estábamos hablando acerca de lo que le gusta comer de cheat meal, ¿no? De las comidas estas que no debería comer. Y me dijo, mira, si por mí fuera, yo estaría comiendo un burrito todos los días. Me encantan los burritos de carne asada, que con la lechuga, que con la salsa, que con los frijolitos, que con todas esas cosas deliciosas. Y yo le dije, bueno, la siguiente vez que nos veamos vamos a hacer un burrito sexy. Entonces ya está, ya tenemos plan ahora que vayamos a WrestleMania. Vamos a hacer un burrito sexy. So, now we can move and talk a little bit about NXT. What a debut, girl. It was explosive. For me, I was just like eating something, and I saw you, and I was like, what about this girl?
Thank you.
How do you feel in the ring?
In the ring? Oh my God. It's honestly, every time I get in the ring, it's a surreal moment, you know? And just, it's almost like I was dreaming, kind of. Like, you know, it's just like crazy because it's a dream come true. And to have the amount of support that I got afterwards is a dream come true. Like, I am extremely grateful, and I didn't think that it was gonna pop off like this, you know? So, yeah, I'm just so grateful. My feeling in the ring was just, this is the do or die moment. So make it memorable and just do your best. And of course, I got a lot, you know, that I got to learn, and I'll constantly want to improve in everything that I do. But oh man, that moment was just unexplainable, honestly.
So that night, the night of the debut, it was a dream night for you, right? Or how do you describe that night? That night?
So I mean, all day, first off, I was like anticipating the moment. I was like, oh my gosh, like today's the day, tonight's the night. And before I go, you know, as soon as you hear your music hit, it's like, oh my God, that's my music. This is the time, you know, like don't mess it up. Like, of course, that's in my head too. But then it's like, as soon as I like walk out, and the crowd was so lively and like awesome, and just my adrenaline hit, and then like my nerves, because I was super nervous. I always get nervous, but my nerves turned into adrenaline. And like, honestly, after I get off, after the match and everything, I'm like, what just happened? Like, I don't even remember. Like, I hope everything was good. So, but yeah, it's just, it was like, I stepped into my dream reality. Like, it was kind of just like the beginning, like a long road up until this point, but this is like the next chapter, and now there's a long road up to the, you know what I mean? Like, so this is kind of like the beginning. This is the beginning. So
Okay, wow. Well, wait, I mean, I don't remember seeing you like, oh, like a nervous face or something. I saw you very confident and
thank you.
A ver, gente, pues estamos hablando ahorita acerca del match, de su primer match, de su match debut, ¿no? Y yo le dije, ¿cómo te sentiste? ¿Cómo fue? Y me dijo, a ver, yo siempre que salgo bien nerviosa. Salgo tan nerviosa que cuando, o sea, bueno, yo nada más escuché la música, como ya tengo que salir, ya estaba ahí, dije, bueno, pues escuché a la gente, todo lo que la gente estaba así como, sí, no sé qué. Entonces ya tuvo el match, pum, pum, y cuando menos se dio cuenta ya había terminado. Y dijo, bueno, pero también por otro lado lo que me empezó a decir es que pues esa noche fue un sueño para ella. Entonces, a pesar de que no se acuerda realmente cómo terminó todo, pues ella solo dijo, bueno, espero haberlo hecho bien, y se sintió muy contenta también con los resultados. So, after the match, you broke the internet. Everybody was commenting on your video with the finish of the match. You became a trend, and it's been non-stop since that. So could you tell us what happened after you left the ring the night of your debut?
Yeah, I mean, I was still like I said, I was like, did that just happen? You know, I didn't look at my phone though yet until I got home, honestly. And my parents, I was fortunate to have my parents there, my man, a bunch of friends came to support. So yeah, I was super grateful, first of all, and just keeping that in mind, like, wow, like people that are really close to me came and to support me and everything. So that means a lot to me. And so after, I was just kind of, you know, of course I talked to my coaches and like get all that going and everything. And people, you know, people in the back, I'm grateful, people telling me great job and everything like that. And yeah, afterwards I just kind of sat there and like continued to watch the show as well, of course, and show support. But I didn't get out of my gear until like the show was over. Like I stayed in it, and I was just like, I don't want to even go in the locker room right now. I just want to bask in this moment. And, oh man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Okay. But do you celebrate after the match with your family or something, or which kind of celebration do you have?
Honestly, I went straight home because the next day I had training. You know, you know, this was just the debut. This is just the beginning. I got a lot of work to do, although I'm very grateful and happy, you know. I was like, I can celebrate later. We still got work to do. If anything, it motivated me more to be better, you know. So, and then of course, when I got on social media, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I wasn't expecting this reaction, you know. And a lot of people thought that the finisher was the split, you know, but technically the finisher was the tornado kick. The split is how I pinned her, you know, but that's gonna stay. That's part of the finish. It's a little, you know, that's what kind of like went viral, and I'm just like so surprised at that. But anyway, as far as celebrating that weekend, you know, I'm very low key. My parents came over, you know, we just hung out. We literally played a card game together, and like that's pretty much it. That's my celebrating.
Qué padre. Okay, you're very professional, girl.
Thank you.
A ver, pues ahorita estábamos hablando acerca de que si se esperaba ella todo este boom que causó en redes sociales, ¿no? O sea, desde que salió así, ¡pum!, rompió internet. Y ella me dijo, pues obviamente no, o sea, yo no me esperaba para nada cuando llegué a mi casa, porque también le pregunté que se había celebrado. Me dijo, no, o sea, yo al día siguiente entrenaba y yo no celebro, ¿no? O sea, porque tengo que enfocarme en eso. Entonces me dijo, pero lo interesante fue que cuando llegué a casa y vi que había roto internet, dije, órale, para nada se lo esperaba ella. Entonces, pues qué padre, Landa se lo merece muchísimo. Now, I want to talk about the future of Nikkita Lyons. I want to know your goals for this year and next one, and where do you see yourself?
Oh man, so one of my biggest goals for like this year is to work my way up to getting that women's title, of course. You know, getting that women's championship title. That's one of my big goals. My goals also
women's champ. Wow, it's a big
yes.
goal.
It's a goal, you know. It's always been a goal of mine. But also in regards to like personal goals as well, just being the best version of yourself, honestly, because when we're the best version of ourselves, we put our best work out there. So I'm constantly on a journey of bettering myself and, you know, breaking old habits of like, you know, I'm very open about all of my, you know, what I go through too, because I want people to know that they're not alone either, you know. So long story short, one of my biggest goals is to just become the best version of myself. And then one day, another one of my biggest goals would be WrestleMania, of course. So yeah, that's obviously in the future. I got a lot of work to do, but that, I mean, long story short, WrestleMania, and yeah, I would have to say those
maybe next year.
I mean,
we'll for next year.
Yeah, you never know what the future holds. So,
of course, and with your talent, I'm completely sure that is very. Yeah, I think that. And you should know something. In El Brunch, it's kind of a magical box because all the superstars that they're maybe like few months or 2 years ago or something, they say like, okay, I want to do this or I want to win this championship or whatever. Trust me, it will happen. So it happens all the time. So for you, I'm sure that it will happen because you have everything, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
A ver, pues ahorita estábamos hablando acerca de cómo se ve ella en este año y el siguiente año, y ella me dijo, así, peladito y en la boca se los digo, este año yo voy por el campeonato femenino del Raw. ¡Pum! Y no solo eso, el siguiente año yo voy por el campeonato, o sea, ella va a estar en WrestleMania. ¿Qué tal? Ya le dije, esto es una cajita mágica, eso pasará, seguramente sí pasará. And now, I want to know your inspiration. Which superstars do you think that influence you the most?
Oh my gosh. There are so many amazing women that paved the way for women's wrestling to be what it is now. So I would have to say one of my biggest inspirations would be Beth Phoenix because, yes, she's the glamazon, she's a strong woman, and she always like was confident. Or is confident. She is confident, and she never, you know, held back on being herself. And that's really also, I mean, a big part of what I would love to do as well is just to encourage other women to be who they truly are. And I feel Beth Phoenix has inspired me to do the same thing and always be who I truly am. Also, Lita is absolutely amazing. To name a couple more, Charlotte Flair, of course, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bailey. Like, there's so many women that I've looked up to over the years that have inspired me to really go for my dream and not be afraid. And I just have to thank them. And of course, Bianca Belair. Listen, her energy, she's charismatic, she's strong. All of these women, like, I can go on and on, but all of these women have truly paved the way, and they all are unique in their own way, and that's what makes them all beautiful and strong and independent. So, yeah.
Perfecto. A ver, pues, ahorita estábamos hablando acerca de sus inspiraciones y me dijo, creo que Beth Phoenix es una superestrella que ha inspirado a muchas también. Entonces, para ella ha sido una inspiración porque su actitud, la forma en que hace las cosas, también me dijo Lelita, y me dijo, y por supuesto no puedo dejar de lado a Charlotte Flair, a Becky Lynch, incluso también a Bianca Belair, ¿no? Como todo lo que hace ella con su cabello, con todo, pues es una persona, o sea, que se podía seguir y seguir y seguir, pero le vamos a dejar por acá, ¿ok? And now, how do you start in combat sports? Because you are a black belt in Taekwondo since you were 8 years or something, right? 8 years. So, an expert as well in MMA and a wrestler. So, I want to know how this started and why everything. I want to know everything.
Definitely. So, I'm 22 years old now, 22. And yes, and I started with martial arts when I was 4 years old. I had a lot of energy as a child. I'm an only child, and so I would always dance around the house, make my parents watch me sing, and set up my Barbies and Brat dolls as my audience, and my parents were like, okay, so entertainment. But I also liked to hit things. So, like, I would, like, punch pillows and, like, throw stuff. So they were like, okay, I don't know what this child wants right now. So they kind of threw me in everything just to see what would stick. And honestly, I just have a passion in general for entertaining, for combat sports, music, dance, all of it. So, like I said, I was put in Taekwondo at 4. Because when I was like 2 or 3 years old, my mom tried to put me in dance, and I literally just didn't pay attention. So she was like, you need discipline. So that's why I got growing up, fast forward a little bit, because I continued Taekwondo, I got back into dance, got into music again when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, because my dad, just like in this storyline that I have going is all real. My dad was really in a Harry's rock band. My mom was really a groupie. That's really how I got here. So the music influence was from my father. And so I started with that, but then at the same time was in boxing, kickboxing, continued with martial arts, and you know, some of it was self-taught. You know, I'd just go to the gym and I'd watch videos like the nunchucks and everything. I just kind of would just study videos and Bruce Lee. And for martial arts, and man, Ronda Rousey has been one of my biggest inspirations for the longest time, and I didn't put her on the last list because I wanted to mention her starting with the martial arts aspect, because she was like a poster on my wall for like the whole time I was a teenager. And like I read her book, and I've just always looked up to her. And so like during that time, every time I'd watch her fight or like watch videos of her, I'd be like, okay, it's time to go to the gym. So from then on, during this time, I was still in high school. And in high school, I did like show choir and cheer, video production. I kept myself very busy because I knew, I was like, one day this is going to pay off. Like, I know I'm tired. I know there's a lot going on right now, but I knew one day I was like, this is what I want to do. So I had the opportunity, right? I graduated high school in 2017, and I was 16 years old. A couple months later, I was like, okay, Personally, at least for now, college is not for me. I've been, dedicating all these years with acting classes, dance classes, martial arts classes. My parents have been amazing and supportive and been investing in me, and I need to make this work. Like, I need to make something happen. So I was determined to do that. And I'm very big on manifestation as well.
Wow.
So yeah, I literally was blessed to get the opportunity to try out for Woman of Wrestling at the time, Wow Superheroes, and that was back in Los Angeles, where I'm from. And I got on it, and that's how I started with sports entertainment. And that was my first time actually stepping in the ring for sports entertainment. I watched growing up, but I never thought I would have the actual opportunity to do it. So that first role, the first running the ropes, all of that was, this is freaking cool. So from there on, I started training and did a couple seasons over there, and then the pandemic hit in 2020 or 2019, 2020, and everything kind of paused at that point. And I tried to still do what I could with the state that the world was in. And then I got the opportunity to try out WWE this past August, right after my birthday. And I feel like my life has changed a lot since then in such an amazing way. And I'm extremely grateful. And that's kind of how I got into it. I feel like everything in my life is kind of led up to, pro wrestling and sports entertainment, because I believe that if it's your calling, it'll keep calling you. And wrestling has always called me. It's always come back to me in the past since I've started it, Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry.
Energy. You're a bomb.
Thank you.
God. And you're super young, girl.
Thank you. I forget sometimes, honestly. I forget.
But it's amazing that you're 22 and all the things that you did and all the life that you have just in front of you. So you have a big, big future. I'm completely sure about that.
Thank you so
I know
much.
that I'm in front of a legend, a future legend.
I'm
sure.
I did that. Wow.
You will see, you will see. A ver, pues gente, no tengo palabras para expresar lo increíble. Estamos enfrente de una chica que ha hecho de todo, de todo. O sea, imagínense nada más que cuando ella tenía, seguramente desde que estaba en la panza de su mamá, era una bomba, porque a los 4 años comenzó con las artes marciales. A los 4 años. O sea, ella decía que tenía un pequeño tema de energía, tenía mucha energía, y aparte de todo le gustaba pegarle a las cosas. Entonces le gustaba pegarle a las almohadas y le gustaba azotar cosas y aventar cosas. Entonces ella dijo, cuando empezó a probar las artes marciales, dijo, órale, esto está bueno. Pero bueno, como resumiendo mucho de todo lo que se habló acá, ella me dijo que también tiene una influencia de que le encanta la música por su papá. Entonces, a papá le gusta la música y ha hecho de todo. O sea, fue porrista, fue conductora, actuó, o sea, hizo de todo, de todo, de todo. Hasta que llegó un momento cuando estaba en la secundaria que se puso las pilas y dijo, a ver, aguanta, aguanta, aguanta. Mis papás han hecho todo por mí. Ellos me han apoyado muchísimo. Es momento de que me ponga las pilas y diga, voy a hacer mi sueño realidad. Y porque dice que es una mujer a la que se propone algo, y yo creo que eso lo podemos hacer todo, pero ella ya lo sabe a sus 22 años. Tiene 22 años y ella dijo, ¿saben qué? Me voy a poner las pilas, voy a empezar a hacer, voy a empezar en el ring. Entonces estuvo en el ring, o sea, empezó y dijo, wow, yo no sabía que esto era y esto me encanta. Entonces apareció la oportunidad de estar en WWE y dijo, bueno, ahora sí, yo sé que este es el inicio de una gran y memorable vida, y así es, y así va a seguir siendo. Felicidades por eso, qué joya. Sí estamos enfrente de una gran leyenda, van a ver. Okay. You said that your family is supporting you a lot, and I think that's one of the main things in life. Otherwise, that would be a little bit difficult, right? So congratulations, because your family is supporting you. But I want to know the moment when you said to them, like, when you tell them, like, okay, I'm going to be a WWE superstar? What about the reactions?
They were there, like literally, yeah, because the tryout was in Las Vegas.
Sí.
I was born in Las Vegas. My parents lived in Vegas for like, if I hope I'm right with this, I want to say 5 or 6 years. They lived there, and I was born in 1999 over there. So anyway, it was kind of like ironic that the tryout was back in like where they used to live and where I was born. So they were like, "We're gonna come," and like I'm telling you, they're very supportive and I love it, and I'm grateful. And like I said, I'm an only child. They went through a lot in order to have me. Like they tried for 10 years, and I finally came to be, and that's why my name is Faith. You know, I'm Nikkita, but like my name is Faith, because they had faith that I was there, you know, and having faith in something is believing in something you can't see. So they believed that I was there, but not physically yet, and so that's how I came to be. But that's a tiny backstory on like my name and my parents. But anyway, right after Triple H offered me the contract, I mean, I was same feeling as that debut moment, you know, like just what the heck? Like, is this real? I was crying. I was happy. Like, I called them and they were right downstairs, and I ran and I jumped my dad and like my mom, and they had my little dog too, and like it was like a beautiful moment that I wish could have been filmed so I could watch it back, but it's definitely in my memories forever. And they were so excited and so proud, and yeah, they're like, let's do it. And in fact, they moved out here to Orlando as well from Los Angeles, because like I said, we're a unit, we're a family. No matter what happens, like family is most important, and they'll always be there for you. So again, me being an only child, my mom, she's like, well, if you're going over there, we're going over there, you know. And I prefer it that way, you know, because I can take care of them and vice versa if needed. So it's everything kind of fell into place. So they live about maybe like an hour away from me. I'm grateful because they owned a townhome back in Los Angeles. When they moved out here, they sold that. When they moved out here, they were able to buy a house that they've never had the ability to have before. And they're currently renovating that and, you know, building like the life that they deserve. And I want to give them as well. So that's another reason I'm on this journey, because literally they gave me the world. So now it's my turn to give the world to them back, you know? So that's just another reason, another motivation for me. So yeah.
Wow. You're, wow. You have a big heart. That's something amazing.
Thank you so much.
Like, it's not just because you're talent, it's because you have a heart and soul and beautiful soul.
Thank you.
Yeah, your parents, I'm completely sure that they feel really, really grateful, and with the universe, with God, and yeah, congratulations, really. A ver, pues estábamos hablando ahorita acerca de cómo reaccionó su familia y wow, o sea, esta chica no solamente tiene talento, sino que también tiene un corazón gigante. Ella me dijo, bueno, pues, somos una familia muy unida. Entonces, él fue a Las Vegas, el tryout, y ahí fue cuando me dijo, yo me acuerdo mucho de mi momento cuando Triple H me dio a firmar el contrato, porque fue la misma emoción que yo sentí en el momento en el que yo debuté. Nervios, no sabía ni cómo, por qué estaba ahí, pero yo no paraba de llorar, abracé a mi papá, porque ella es de Las Vegas. Entonces, pues básicamente esta cuestión, y es muy bonito lo que ella dice, porque es algo que quiere recompensar a su familia, de todo lo que han hecho por ella a lo largo de la vida. Ella ahora quiere recompensarlos, entonces, por todo este esfuerzo que han tenido con ella. Y por eso ahora están más unidos que nunca. Qué bonito, la verdad. So, you debuted 1 week ago, but we got another mandatory question. Potential dream matches for Nikkita Lyons with active superstars and with legends.
And with who?
Legends.
Oh, Legends. Oh my gosh. Let me see. So right now, I think one of my dream matches would be Charlotte Flair,
Okay.
because she's the woman that I always looked up to growing up. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Ronda Rousey, I think would be amazing. So we could, like I said, watching her, I had a poster of her on my wall, so then to be in the ring with her would be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So legends, I would say Beth Phoenix. Like I said, I would love if I had the opportunity to be in the ring with her. Natalia that would absolutely be an amazing opportunity and honorable moment. Let me see, Lita.
Okay, okay.
There's so many. That's to name a few, but I feel like those women it would be an honor to go and to be in the ring with all of them.
Ok. Bueno, pues la pregunta aquí fue acerca de una pregunta que se tiene que hacer. ¿Con qué superestrellas tendría un dream match? Y me dijo con Charlotte Flair, me gustaría muchísimo también con Ronda Rousey, que Ronda Rousey ya no les dije, pero también fue una inspiración para ella desde hace mucho tiempo. Entonces, que estar con cualquiera de ellas como activas, pues sería impresionante. Y pues con Beth Phoenix también, con Natalia. Y me dijo, bueno, me puedo seguir también, pero ya nos vamos, con esto nos quedamos. So, you started to train with Selena Majors in 2018. How do you evaluate yourself in the ring? Which are the best, your best weapons?
Ooh, I would say my legs are my best weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, my legs, and I could throw a little bit of hands too, but I would say and of course my just power as far as like within my legs, because I've trained, like I said, in martial arts my whole life, so I feel like my ability and privilege of being able to use my legs would be my best weapon. And Selena, like you said, she was my very first trainer, and her and I speak, and I keep her up to date, and I actually talked to her last night. But
Yeah.
like literally, yeah, she'll always be like my like wrestling mama. And she's the sweetest person in the world, and she also deserves the world because she's dedicated her life to wrestling. And so being able to like share moments with her and like hear about her memories and everything is an absolute, like, I'm just grateful for all of it. I'm grateful for her. So yeah, as far as weapons go, I would have to say my legs.
Ok, muy bien. Pues a ver, ella tuvo un debut, o sea, bueno, no debut, más bien, entrenó con Selena Majors en el 2018. Y yo le pregunté que para evaluarse a ella, ¿cómo se evaluaría? Y cuál es pues sí, como físicamente, cuál es su parte fuerte. Y me dijo, mira, yo completamente veo a Selena Majors como mi mamá, o sea, como la mamá en el ring, ¿no? Básicamente ella la describe así. Y dice, y yo veo como mis fortalezas, las fortalezas de mi cuerpo, mis piernas, completamente. Los brazos también, pero ella dice que las piernas son y sí, su mero mole ya lo vimos. Qué gran atributo tiene con estas piernas y cómo las sabe usar, gente. A ver. And how do you see the women's division in WWE nowadays? And how do you see the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think the women's division is absolutely killing it in NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. And as far as the future goes, I think we're going to continue this flow of strong women and continuing the power with it being Women's History Month and everything. I just want to like pay my respects to all the women that are in it now, all the women who have been in it. And as far as the future goes, I mean, to think that I have the honor and ability to one day be in the with all of these women is I see that in the future, and I can feel it, and it's absolutely like unexplainable how excited I am. But I see the future of the women in the roster to continue to be this strong and this powerful, because right now they're killing it, and I just can't wait to continue to be a part of it.
Yes, exactly. I have to say, and I have to confess that for me, it's an honor being here in the company because it's just growing. The girls now, we have a lot of power, and for example, you and it's integrating by a lot of big superstars. So now it's an historical moment for girls. So congratulations, living your dream, that you're living your dream and building a new future for the new generations as well, the coming new generations as well.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Sí, a ver, pues ahorita estábamos hablando de cómo ve la división femenina de WWE. Ya me dijo, bueno, la veo muy fuerte y yo creo que en el futuro va a estar todavía más fuerte porque, pues obviamente con todo lo que los talentos que están introduciendo ahora, las estrellas, las superestrellas que están introduciendo, pues yo veo cada vez más fuerte la división femenina. Entonces, pues le gusta muchísimo ser parte de este movimiento revolucionario que seguramente va a ser historia. Estamos haciendo historia, gente. So, now, are you ready for questions from fans?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. A ver, vamos a ver, por acá dice... Okay, this one. Ronald Asanza, how is your pre-match routine?
Ooh, okay, so I like to warm up. I roll out first, my legs, my back, arms. I roll out everything. I stretch because stretching prevents injury. So stretching is very important. I like to warm up with like jumping jacks, high knees, burpees, mountain climbers, just light warm ups. And then I like to use the resistant band to kind of warm up my muscle. Nothing like, not like a heavy workout, you know, but just trying to get my body warm. I like to listen to, I'll go back and forth from my entrance music, and then I'll also listen to like just music that gets me hype. It depends on my mood that day, because sometimes it'll be like Nirvana or like Hailstorm, and then sometimes it'll be like Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, you know, like, so it depends on my mood. But then usually right before I go on, I like to like listen to my own entrance music and get pumped. So that's pretty much like, you know, my
Muy bien. Ok, perfecto. Pues a ver, ahorita estábamos hablando acerca de su rutina previa antes de que entre a un match y me dijo, mira, lo primero que yo necesito hacer es estirarme. Es estirarme porque si no me estiro bien, luego vienen los daños, o sea, las lesiones, y no queremos lesiones. Entonces, una rutina larga de estiramientos también. Y hay algo bien interesante que yo no me imaginaba. Y está muy buena esa pregunta que hicieron, Ronald, felicidades. Porque dijo, a mí me gusta mucho escuchar mi música de entrada. A veces escucha Cardi B también, pero le gusta mucho escuchar su música de entrada. Bueno, next question. A ver. Esta cosa no jala. A ver, aquí. Y dice, por acá. So, oh no, I don't know why, but let me check this one. Wait. A ver. Sorry.
good.
A ver. Is a lot of people saying like, oh my God, you're so beautiful.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
This one. A ver. Which do you prefer? Baby face or heel?
As for myself, to be honestly, I would say baby face because I like to always live in my authentic self, and I feel like baby face would kind of goes with like my authentic self, I feel. So you know, I'm good. I don't like to talk too much. I don't like to talk smack. I don't really like to call people out. But if I'm called out, which y'all should stay tuned for the next episode of NXT, because somebody called me out. You know who it is. If I'm called out, if I am called out or, you know, somebody throws the first, you know, punch, I'm gonna finish it. So I feel like that's how, you know, that's how I am in life. And I do like to play by the rules. I don't like to cheat. And I feel that good at the end of the day and truth always wins. So I would say babyface.
Okay, for now, babyface.
Yeah, for now. We'll see how things go.
Exactly, exactly. Muy bien, pues ella, ¿qué prefiere si ser babyface o heel? Me dijo, yo completamente prefiero ser babyface. A mí no me gusta andar mintiendo, o sea, como mentir, a mí me gusta ser limpia, clara y contundente, pero nada más manténganse también atentos al siguiente episodio de NXT. Y bueno, por ahora, ella es una gran babyface, entonces así será. So, next question, and this is the last one. Victor Alfonso. Do you speak Spanish? Just a bit, maybe, a few words?
Poquito. I love reggaeton, so I try to learn through music. So I mean, I'm not fluent whatsoever. Maybe you can help me. Maybe like you can teach me. I would love to learn, but I love learning about the culture, and I do know a song. I know I can sing a little bit of the song if you want.
Sí, por favor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If it's wrong, I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
It's okay.
Préndelo y apágalo. Ven, dímelo. Yo ya vi, es obvio que tú mil cosas quieres hacer. Y cuando te hablan de mí, no te las imaginas. Así es obvio que tú mil cosas quieres hacer. Y cuando te hablan de mí, no te las imaginas. Wow! It was probably bad. I was probably pitchy. I'm nervous. I love
God.
That's a song called Pineapple by Karol G. So I love her. I love J Balvin. I love Bad Bunny. I love Selena, of course. Rest in power, Selena. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now I think with this, we will be trending topic as well, and we want to break internet again. Why not? Because Nikkita Lyons es una gran cantante de reggaeton. You're a great singer, a reggaeton singer, right? Maybe
one day that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, Nikkita, we arrived at the end of this amazing interview. It was a pleasure to have you here with us in El Brunch de Loli. This is tu casa. So, but before you go, I want to ask something. Let's imagine that you win the Women's NXT Championship and you decide to throw a celebration. And I'm in charge to organize this party. So which are the 4 items that I can never forget to buy for this party?
Ooh, you can never forget the burritos.
Burritos, claro.
Burritos at the party. We need to have a great speaker system, like, you know, that whole setup with a DJ and everything. That's important, you know. And I would say, so that's 2. Number 3 would be, let me see, a dance floor. I don't know. You know how they have, we need a dance floor. I love to dance, and so if we celebrate and we're all dancing, that's, you know.
Me encanta.
Number 4.
Sí.
Number 4 would be,
maybe something to drink?
That's a great idea. Something to drink. I don't drink alcohol as much, but